Hello, my name is Joel Parkin, and I would like to talk about issues I've got with race discrimination, maternity discrimination, making unlawful deductions from my wages, varying my contract secretly, breach of contract, and many other issues. Now, Leeds City Council is also resorted to breaching my human rights with impunity. It all started in 2012 when I went on maternity leave. I'm entitled to all my bank holidays and all my annual leave. That's what is in my contract. Leeds City Council changed it secretly without letting me know, and they told me I'm not entitled to bank holiday, but I'm entitled to annual leave. And I said, no, my contract says otherwise. Can you send me a copy of all the policies and all the terms and conditions of contract about me? And Leeds City Council resorted to racism and so told me that I should give them a copy of my right to work in the UK. And that's because of the color of my skin. If they had checked me when I got employed and they saw proof that I had a right to work in the UK. But because I'm a black woman, they assumed that I didn't have the right to work in the UK. Leeds City Council refused to send me the contract or any terms and conditions until I sent them evidence. Please note that they already had this evidence when I was originally employed. Now, they continued to make unlawful deductions from my wages and then continued to bully me and started to intimidate and harass me out of work in many ways. They refused to grant me flexible working. They moved me from where I was working before I went on maternity to a further away location to make it difficult for me to continue work. And I still refused to resign. I told them that where I come from, we do not have the benefit system, so I do not want to rely on benefit. I want to keep working. And I continued to work. Leeds City Council continued to bully me, continued to harass me, continued to intimidate me out of work. It didn't work for them. And that they bullied me to the extent that I had a mental breakdown. When I had the mental breakdown, they did not offer any support compared with the support that they provided to my colleagues who had health issues. Now, after I had the mental breakdown, I said to Leeds City Council, please, can you redeploy me from these departments? It's exacerbating my mental health issues. Leeds City Council refused to do anything. And instead, they continued to threaten me with dismissal. Now, I mentioned 5 members of my team who were transferred from my team out of another team without interviews. I mentioned some who were transferred into my team without interviews. All because they are white people, Leeds City Council did not insist that they have any interview. But because I'm a black woman and because they were discriminating against me, they were bullying me, they were intimidating me to silence my whistleblowing concerns. They decided to try other means and they decided that I must have an interview. I refused to have the interview. I told them that those white people, they should treat me equal to my white colleagues. Because we're all humans. The fact that I'm a black woman does not make me less human than my white colleagues. There are 5 of them. I can mention them if you want. And then Leeds City Council transferred them in or outside my team, and they refused to do the same to me, which is race discrimination. Despite the fact that I had mental health issues, and their own Leeds City Council Occupational Health Department said to them that they should transfer me to another department, they refused to do it. My contract of employment says to transfer me to another department, they refused to do it. They insisted I must have an interview and threatened dismissal if I refused to interview. And I would not engage. I did not have the mental capacity. I did not have the ability to interview, prepare for interviews and to interview for a job. All they had to do was transfer me. They refused. At the end of the day, they dismissed me. I went to tribunal, I submitted claims at tribunal, and they bribed my barrister Robert Stewart. He used to work in Plowden Chambers. He's a barrister. And they bribed him, and he stood there after their discussion and told me that my claims had no merit. I had met other solicitor in Sheffield before I went to tribunal, and my solicitor told me that my claims had merit. But after he had received their bribe from Leeds City Council, he decided that my claim has no merit, and he started to bully me. to give up my claims. When I refused, he told me that even if I win my case, that what they will give me through the unlawful deduction from wages will be nothing near what I will gain. That my claim is highest, is worth £10,000. I should go and collect £10,000 from Leeds City Council and withdraw my claims. I refused. I told them all I need is a copy of the contract that they relied on to make unlawful deduction from my wages or to change whatever they were doing. Because like Leeds City Council told me that instead of 22 days holiday pay that I'm entitled to, instead of 22.2 days holiday pay, that I'm entitled to only 8 days holiday pay, which is not true. My contract of employment, when I was employed, says I'm entitled to 22.2 days holiday pay. I said to Leeds City Council, bring the contract that you rely on to say that I'm entitled to only 8 days holiday pay. Leeds City Council refused and they dismissed me. Till date, I was dismissed in December 2018. Today is April 2020. Leeds City Council has refused to pay me outstanding holiday pay because they still owe me. Leeds City Council has refused to pay me my notice in lieu pay. They are still owing me from December 2018. And when I took them to court, money claims, to claim money that they owe me back, they have refused to respond to my claim. That claim was due in, that response, a defense was due in December 2019. This is April 2020. Leeds City Council has refused to defend my claim. It says my claim has no merit. It says that they do not owe me. I have provided to the courts, I have provided to the tribunal enough evidence to show that Leeds City Council owes me outstanding holiday pay. Leeds City Council owes me notice in lieu pay. Till date, they have refused to pay me. And what they are doing is manipulating the courts, manipulating the tribunals because I'm a litigant in person, because I'm a black woman. That is why they are doing it. And they are heading towards imposing costs in May. They are heading towards imposing costs on my claims. They are heading towards imposing deposits on my claims. They are heading towards striking out my claim again instead of disclosing the contract that they rely on. I'm calling out to people out there, anyone who can help me to please come to my aid. They are taking advantage of me because I'm a black woman and because I'm a litigant in person, and they are breaching my human rights. Leeds City Council has forged contracts, they have forged policies, they have forged documents. I brought a claim of fraud against them as a new course of action. And Leeds City Council has refused to respond to it and asked the court to stay my claims. The court has stayed my claim the second time without Leeds City Council responding. I'm still at tribunal with Leeds City Council for other employment issues. Leeds City Council has still refused to pay me what they owe me. They have refused to bring any evidence to contradict my claims. I have evidence for all my allegations. I have submitted evidence. And all that they are doing is Leeds ET is taking instructions from Leeds City Council. For instance, in September last year, in September 2019, Leeds City Council asked Judge Davis to strike out my claim and gave silly reasons. Part of the reasons they gave, for instance, is that I made a complaint against Judge Davis of racism, which is not a lie. And I says, now this claim I have made, if it is not true, it is for the person I have reported it to at Leeds Tribunal to consider and decide if it's true or not. The UK law makes it clear that I should not be punished, I should not be victimized for making a complaint. And that is what the reason Leeds City Council asked Leeds Tribunal to strike off my claim, is to victimize me for making complaints about a judge. Now, after the hearing, after Leeds City Council made their submissions, the judge gave a break, looked at my bundle, and when we came back, she told Leeds City Council that she has looked at my bundle and that she can see that Leeds City Council has not argued for my claim to be struck out based on proportionality, and that Leeds City Council should argue for my claim to be struck out based on proportionality. This is a judge, a sitting judge, advising a solicitor what to say against a litigant in person to strike out my claims. My claims were struck out based on proportionality. I submitted bundles, I submitted case law. Judge Davis did not rely on any of the case law that I submitted. She went and dug out a case law that suits her. Leeds City Council did not submit any bundle related to the evidence to contradict what I'm claiming. And yet they struck out my claim. They're not satisfied with that. One of my other claims as well that was struck out, I appealed it and I won my appeal. And Leeds Employment Tribunal told them to allow my sex discrimination claim to go ahead to final hearing. Leeds City Council told Leeds ET that Leeds ET should still not allow it to final hearing. As I'm speaking with you, they still want to strike out the same claim. This is a blatant breach of my human rights to a fair hearing. Leeds City Council has refused to disclose any evidence to contradict me. I have made it clear that my contract was varied, and which is why we have all these issues. And Leeds City Council says my contract has never been varied. When they said it to the judge at Employment Appeal Tribunal in November 2019, the Employment Appeal Tribunal judge told Leeds City Council to give me a document because they said my contract has never been varied, which is a fat lie. And I said to them, the judge told them, give me a document, a letter to say that my contract has never been varied. Leeds City Council wrote to me and told me they are not giving me that letter because the judge did not make it an order. I'm so frustrated, but I'm not giving up this claim. I'm not giving up my allegations until Leeds City Council can prove me wrong. They have not proved me wrong so far, but they are using the powers that they have as a public authority to influence decisions, to influence things in their favor. They have lied, they have forged evidence, they have forged documents, they have forged policies, and yet they are hoping that they can impose deposits on my costs, impose costs, and then make me to suffer unnecessarily without proving me wrong. Leeds Employment Tribunal has agreed with me that my contract has been varied, and yet Leeds Employment Tribunal wants to strike out my claim. They want to impose cost on my claim. In 2016, Leeds City Council varied my contract secretly without due consultations with trade union, without due consultation with anybody, either trade unions or me. And then Leeds City Council varied the contract. When they proposed the variation initially, they gave it to trade unions. Trade unions rejected that variation. Leeds City Council imposed this secretly without even consulting staff. They imposed this secretly without a statement of change. Nobody knew about it. And then when they started implementing it in 2017, I told them to give me the contract that they rely on. They refused. And then when I reported it to trade unions, Unite the Union and Unison, they relied on the same contract that they rejected to tell me my claim has no merits. I'm calling on everyone out there who can help to please share this message until it gets to someone who can help. A solicitor, a human rights activist, anybody at all who can help me to please come to my aid. I need a decent lawyer to help. Thank you. Bye.